Namaste, and welcome back to Grow with the J.A.N family.
Today we're going to watch a video on U.S. presidents meeting with the Holy Dalai Lama. So a little while back we did the thank you song from Tibetans to India for hosting them for almost 60 years. Now it's over 60 years. It was it was just amazing to see. And the first interview we've done with the Holy Dalai Lama, the questions he was getting was kind of like, do you still have hope in humanity, even though there's been a lot of religious attacks on people or terrorism going on in the world and bad things going on in the world. And he still was for being a refugee in India for over 60 years, and being kicked out of his country, for trying to practice his religion, for trying to, be free. He still was like, people are compassionate, and, you're going to get a few bad seeds, but in general, people are good. And for somebody who's been a refugee for so long, who has not been able to go back to his home country, that is just amazing. He's gotten the Nobel Peace Prize. There's just been so many great things. But we know he's come here to visit a few times, and I'm sure he feels like maybe there's some hope coming here to the U.S., like there'll be some support from the U.S. But I feel like as much as he comes, the U.S. still is supporting China, the one China policy, which needs to go away, and just kind of not really like acknowledging Tibet as its own free country.
Yeah.
But now we know, actually the governor of Pennsylvania has put in a bill to recognize Tibet as an independent and free country. And we are so excited. Tibetans are peaceful. They believe in freedom of religion. They believe in democracy, and they've been taken over. China has taken over from 1949 or something like that, taken over the country and suppressed them. And it's just been, we've seen, monks that have killed themselves, burned themselves on fire because they are trying to get the world to notice, and the world hasn't really noticed. I think because World War II was kind of over and China just kind of swooped in, and the world just kind of let it go. And then there was this one China policy. And I don't know, U.S. is just, I don't know if everybody is that afraid of China, or just, there was trade going on and people were just kind of looking the other way. But there's thousands and thousands of Tibetans as refugees in India, and coming over every year, there's more flowing into India. They need to get their country back. They shouldn't be, under this oppression, under, Chinese Communist Party. So we are so excited that this bill into effect. We support it fully, and we are writing a letter to him, thanking him for doing this. And we are writing a letter to the President of the United States, Donald Trump, because it's going through the process, but once it reaches his table, we want him to sign it.
Yeah.
And we believe, what he's been saying about, China and, stopping trade and not funding the WHO and all these things that he's been talking about. We feel like he would be the one that would sign it. He would have the guts to sign it. And so we are writing him this letter. Dear Mr. President, we are writing this note in support of recognizing Tibet as an independent and free country, a bill that was introduced by Senator Rick Scott. As you know, people of Tibet are loving and peaceful and practice Buddhism. China has invaded their country and took away their religious freedom and filled Tibet with Chinese government officials. We know China has been an integral part of our economy, but they represent nothing we uphold. They don't represent democracy, freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and they continue to violate patents. China has not been transparent on COVID-19. Over hundreds of thousands of Americans are dying. Tibet represents more like us than China ever has. As a world's democracy leader, this is our responsibility to show how we do the right and moral things, recognizing Tibet as a free and democratic country. denouncing China's policies. So we hope that Mr. President does the right thing as he helps, hopefully, containing China as well. You know, we want him to see that Tibet is more like the U.S., you know, value-wise than China ever has been, you know, and with all this virus and lies and, you know, they have nothing in common with us, and yet we're doing business with them, and they don't do fair business, and they don't open their doors for anybody, and there's no democracy in there. But Tibet is, you know, they want their religious freedom. They want their country back. So, are you ready to start it up?
Yep.
The song is really pretty.
Yeah.
It's their
I offer a special welcome to a good friend, His Holiness, the Dalai Lama, who is a powerful example of what it means to practice compassion, who inspires us to speak up for the freedom and dignity of all human beings. I've been pleased to welcome him to the White House on many occasions, and we're grateful he's able to join us here today.
It is not economic power. It is not political influence. It is moral authority.
And that is why I will continue to urge the leaders of China to welcome the Dalai Lama to China. They will find this good man to be a man of peace and reconciliation.
Tibet Bill 2020 introduced.
Yes, Scott Perry. This is just amazing to see him here, that he's been here so many times for different awards, for different ceremonies, and yet I don't know if the U.S. ever said to him that they supported him, but I feel like there hasn't really been support the way Tibet needs support.
No.
And we're hoping this bill goes
Passes.
through so that we can have them have their own country back. Like, it's been over 60 years that they've
That's
been
crazy.
refuging in India, you know, and their country has been taken over. All the government officials are all, you know, mostly Chinese, the officers. You know, we've seen the monks trying to speak out against this, and they're such a peaceful people. You know, they're not going around hurting anybody else. They're hurting themselves, which is so sad to see that it's their only way they think they can get the world's attention. We're hoping this bill gets the world's attention. If this passes here in the U.S., we hope other countries recognize it as well, which would be even better, because Tibet would be a democracy, you know, freedom of religion, peaceful people, and then they would be next to India instead of having the Chinese patrolling the border. We feel guilty that we didn't know more about this, that it seemed like when it happened, it kind of got swept under the table. And I know I have not heard about the monks burning themselves for religious freedom, to be free from China, because the media here doesn't portray that. We really feel like everybody needs to get on board with this.
Yeah.
This is the right thing to do. Tibet needs to be free. And if you're here in the U.S., write to your governors, write to the senators, write to the president, at least once a month, by email, by mail, any way you can do it. This is just the right thing to do. We should all be in support of freeing Tibet. And the Holy Dalai Lama needs to go back soon. And wouldn't that be amazing if Trump signs this bill and Modi can invite him to India to celebrate with the Holy Dalai Lama?
Yeah.
And then they can play this beautiful Tibetan national anthem and celebrate. Like, India then can come out and say they support it too. Like, this definitely has to be playing the game of chess right now, playing politics with China. Guns to guns, they don't care about their people right now. Politics is the way to go. This Tibetan bill, the UN seat, this is what we need. Trade, not free trade, fair trade. Don't buy stuff made in China. This is where we need to go. They need to either open their doors and not suppress their people. They can't even get on YouTube and say how they feel. So this is the right thing to do. And we hope and pray that Holy Dalai Lama gets to go back very soon.
Yeah.
Very, very soon. So support this bill. Send your letters out if you're here in the U.S. And if you're in India and you want to send letters to Trump, go for it. He is a big supporter of India. So are we. So I hope you guys like this.
Don't forget to subscribe.
Enjoy the wonderful growing J.A.N family.
And we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.